The vast observation deck of the Zargax Imperial vessel Eternal Dominion fell silent as Supreme Commander Vexthor watched the small blue planet through narrowed eyes. His scaled skin shifted colors in contemplation, from deep purple to a dismissive gray. Earth, such an unremarkable name for an equally unremarkable world. These humans, he chittered to his advisory council, they've barely mastered basic fusion technology. Their ships can hardly reach their own moon. His mandibles clicked in amusement, and yet they dare to respond to our arrival with demands for equal diplomatic status. First contact had occurred just 3 standard cycles ago. The humans had detected the Zargax survey fleet at the edge of their solar system, and instead of cowering in fear as expected, had broadcast a clear message in multiple formats. They were willing to join the galactic community, but only as equals. Science Officer Melora, her crystalline form shimmering with concern, stepped forward. Supreme Commander, our preliminary analysis suggests caution. Their technological progress rate is unprecedented. They've accomplished in centuries what took other species millennia. Progress without proper guidance is dangerous. Vexthor dismissed her warning with a wave of his primary appendage. They will be given the standard option. Submit to Zargax protection, or face economic isolation. The Empire had used this strategy countless times before. No single species could hope to compete with the vast industrial might of the Zargax. Their trade networks spanned 3 spiral arms of the galaxy. Their military vessels numbered in the millions. Resistance was simply impractical. But humans, as the Zargax would soon learn, had a habit of defying practicality. In the weeks that followed, Earth's governments presented a unified front that surprised the Imperial observers. Instead of competing with each other for favorable terms with the Empire, they strengthened their global alliances. When the Zargax imposed their first trade restrictions, humanity's response was unexpected. They celebrated. Fascinating, Research Director Karntel reported, his tentacles writhing with excitement. They're calling it the second space race. Every major nation has doubled their aerospace budget. Private companies are pooling resources. They're treating our restrictions as a challenge. Vexthor remained unmoved. The humans would learn their place, just as countless species had before them. He authorized additional sanctions, cutting Earth off from all potential contact with other civilizations. But in the darkness of space, humanity was far from idle. In laboratories and workshops across the globe, a revolution was brewing. The Zargax had made a crucial mistake. They had judged humanity by their visible technology, not by their potential. Dr. Sarah Chen, leading Earth's Unified Research Initiative, stood before the Global Defense Council with a smile that would have terrified the Zargax as they understood human expressions. "They think they've isolated us," she announced, activating a holographic display. "But they've just given us exactly what we needed: motivation." The display showed something impossible, at least according to Zargax's understanding of physics. A new form of propulsion that didn't rely on conventional fusion or antimatter. A human innovation that would soon turn the galaxy's power structure on its head. "They see our current technology and think they know our limits," Sarah continued. "They don't realize that humans have always done their best work when backed into a corner." In orbit above Earth, hidden from Imperial sensors, the first ships equipped with the Chen drive were already under construction. The Zargax Empire had made the same mistake that so many others had made throughout human history. They had assumed that current capability reflected maximum potential. As Vexthor prepared his report to the Imperial Senate, declaring the Earth situation well in hand, he remained blissfully unaware of one crucial fact. The humans weren't building weapons or shields or any of the conventional tools of resistance. They were creating something far more dangerous: possibilities. The Empire's data showed human ships struggling to reach Mars. They didn't show the quantum laboratories where the laws of physics were being rewritten. Their cultural analyses highlighted human divisions, but missed the unprecedented cooperation occurring in secret. Their military assessments focused on Earth's handful of fusion-powered vessels, while overlooking the revolutionary designs taking shape in underground facilities. Sarah Chen's words to the council would later be remembered as the beginning of a new era. They think they're watching us to prevent advancement. Instead, they're about to become witnesses to the greatest technological leap in galactic history. The Zargax Empire had intended to make an example of Earth. They would succeed, but not in the way they had planned. Humanity was about to demonstrate why adaptability and innovation were more powerful than any empire's might. And in his chambers aboard the Eternal Dominion, Supreme Commander Vex Thor continued to watch the seemingly peaceful Earth, unaware that he was about to learn a lesson that would reshape the galaxy. Never mistake patience for weakness or isolation for defeat. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a facility unknown to the Zargax Empire, Dr. Sarah Chen stood before a gleaming prototype that defied conventional physics. The Chen drive hummed with a sound that shouldn't have been possible in the quantum vacuum chamber, a testament to humanity's ability to rewrite the rules. Final diagnostics complete, her colleague Dr. Marcus Rivera announced, his eyes fixed on streams of data flowing across multiple holographic displays. The quantum field is stable at 10,000 times the theoretical limit. The Zargax aren't just wrong about the possibilities of faster-than-light travel. They're wrong about the fundamental nature of space-time itself. The global resistance against the Empire's economic sanctions had evolved far beyond what any alien observer could have predicted. While the Zargax watched Earth's conventional shipyards and monitored their regulated communication channels, humanity had gone underground, literally and figuratively. In facilities across the planet, hidden from Imperial sensors by revolutionary quantum masking technology, a new fleet was taking shape. But these weren't the crude fusion-powered vessels the Zargax expected. Each ship incorporated innovations that the Empire had deemed impossible. They think they've trapped us in our solar system, Sarah mused, running her hand along the crystalline housing of the Chen drive. They don't understand that humans have spent centuries imagining ways to break exactly these kinds of limitations. Science fiction didn't just inspire us, it prepared us. The Zargax Empire's greatest miscalculation wasn't in underestimating human technology. It was in underestimating human imagination. While their society advanced through careful, incremental steps, humanity had always dreamed of impossible leaps. Above ground, Earth maintained a careful facade of struggling under the Empire's restrictions. Nations publicly bickered over dwindling resources while secretly pooling their innovations. Corporate leaders complained about market crashes while funneling their entire R&D budgets into the underground effort. In orbit, the Zargax observation fleet watched with satisfaction as Earth's visible space traffic declined. Supreme Commander Vex Thor's reports to the Imperial Senate grew increasingly confident. The humans were learning their place, or so he thought. Status update from Quantum Team Beta, Marcus announced, breaking Sarah's contemplation. The gravity manipulation systems are online. We can now mask entire cities from Imperial sensors. As far as they're concerned, we're just a primitive species barely managing to maintain our existing infrastructure. But Earth's true infrastructure had evolved beyond anything the Empire could imagine. The Chen drive was just the beginning. Quantum computing had led to artificial intelligence that operated on principles the Zargax had never conceived. New materials, created at the atomic level, offered protection against weapons the Empire considered unstoppable. In a secured conference room in Geneva, the Global Defense Council received the latest progress report. Admiral James Chen, Sarah's brother and the tactical leader of Earth's hidden fleet, addressed the assembled leaders. "The Empire thinks they're watching us crack under pressure," he said, his voice steady with contained excitement. "Instead, they're watching a carefully choreographed performance. Every visible sign of our technological regression is covering up a quantum leap forward." The council members studied the classified reports with growing confidence. The Zargax had expected Earth to either submit or collapse. Instead, humanity had chosen a third option: transcend. In his private laboratory, Marcus made a breakthrough that would later be seen as the tipping point. "Sarah," He called out, his voice trembling with excitement. The quantum entanglement network. It's not just working. It's evolving. The AI systems are creating new protocols faster than we can document them. This was humanity's true superpower, the ability to turn restrictions into opportunities. The Empire's isolation had forced Earth to look inward, to push the boundaries of what they thought possible. Every sanction, every restriction, had become a catalyst for innovation. In low Earth orbit, a Zargax sensor operator noticed a brief anomaly, a flicker in the quantum field that shouldn't have been possible according to Imperial science. The operator dismissed it as a sensor malfunction, unable to comprehend that they had glimpsed the edge of a revolution. Sarah Chen looked out over the vast underground chamber where the first of Earth's new ships was nearing completion. Its design would have confused any Imperial engineer. It incorporated principles that the Zargax had declared impossible millennia ago and never questioned since. "They think they're teaching us humility," she said to Marcus, watching as quantum-guided assemblers added another layer of impossible materials to the ship's hull. Instead, they're about to learn why humanity has survived every challenge we've ever faced. We don't just adapt, we transform. The silent uprising was nearing its culmination. Soon, the Zargax Empire would learn that their greatest mistake wasn't in challenging humanity. It was in giving them time to prepare their response. As Sarah Chen activated the final sequence of the quantum network that would link Earth's hidden fleet, she allowed herself a smile that would have terrified any Imperial strategist who understood its meaning. The game was about to change, and the Empire didn't even know they were playing. Supreme Commander Vexthor was enjoying his morning ritual aboard the Eternal Dominion when the impossible happened. One moment, his sensors showed the usual scatter of primitive human satellites and debris. The next, 300 warships materialized simultaneously across the solar system. "Impossible," he chittered, his scales flashing emergency crimson. "Where did they come from? How did they bypass our detection grid?" But the humans weren't waiting for him to understand. Admiral James Chen's voice broadcast across all frequencies, using the Empire's own encrypted channels as if they were public networks. "This is Earth Defense Fleet to all Zargax vessels. You have 30 seconds to power down your weapon systems. We would prefer to avoid unnecessary conflict." The Imperial fleet's response was predictable. They opened fire. Energy beams capable of shattering moons lanced out toward Earth's ships. Vexthor allowed himself a moment of satisfaction. These upstart humans would learn. But the beams passed straight through their targets, dispersing harmlessly into space. The human vessels hadn't even raised shields. They didn't need to. In her command chair aboard the EDF Prometheus, Sarah Chen watched the Imperial weapons display with professional interest. "Quantum phase shifting is holding steady," she reported to her brother. "Their weapons literally can't touch us. We exist in a slightly different quantum state than their energy emissions." The Zargax fleet's formation began to break as panic set in. Their most powerful weapons were useless. Their supposedly unbreakable encryption was compromised. And now their sensors showed hundreds more human ships appearing from quantum shadows they hadn't known existed. "Launch the Phase 1 attack," Admiral Chen ordered, his voice calm but firm. "Minimal casualties. Maximum impact. Show them exactly what they've been dismissing as impossible." Across the solar system, humanity's true technological revolution revealed itself. Ships equipped with Chen drives didn't just move through space. They rewrote its laws as they traveled. Quantum-guided weapons didn't destroy their targets. They temporarily shifted them into alternate probability states where their weapons and engines simply refused to function. "This is not possible." Vexthor raged as system after system on his flagship went dark. Their technology was primitive. "We watched them. We monitored everything." "No, Commander." Sarah's voice came through on his personal channel. "You monitored what we wanted you to monitor. You saw what you expected to see. While you were watching our decoy programs, humanity was breaking through barriers your empire never even thought to question." The battle. if it could even be called that, lasted less than an hour. Not a single life was lost on either side. But by the end, the entire Zargax battle fleet hung motionless in space, their ships caught in quantum fields that denied the very physics they relied upon. In the Imperial Palace on Zargax Prime, the first reports of the defeat caused chaos. The Empire had faced resistance before, even occasional military setbacks. But this was different. Humanity hadn't just defeated their fleet, they had rendered the Empire's most advanced technology obsolete. "Your weapons are now back online," Admiral Chen broadcast to the immobilized Imperial fleet. "Your engines will follow shortly. Consider this a demonstration, not a conquest. Earth is ready to talk, but only as equals." In the aftermath, as the stunned Imperial ships regained control of their systems, the true scope of humanity's achievement began to sink in. They hadn't just developed new weapons or defenses. They had fundamentally changed the rules of warfare, physics, and space travel itself. Marcus Rivera, monitoring the quantum networks from Earth, smiled as he watched the data streams. The Zargax were attempting to analyze what had happened, but their sensors couldn't even detect the principles involved. It was like trying to understand quantum mechanics with a sundial. "Send the technical package," Sarah instructed her communications officer. "Show them exactly what they missed while they were busy underestimating us." Across the Imperial fleet, scientists and engineers received detailed explanations of the Chen drive, quantum phase technology, and the other innovations humanity had developed. It wasn't just a demonstration of power, it was a lesson in the dangers of assumption and the benefits of cooperation. "We could have kept these advances to ourselves," Admiral Chen's final message stated. "We could have used them to dominate, as your empire has done. Instead, we choose to share them. Because humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to imagine a better future for everyone." In his chambers, Supreme Commander Vexthor studied the technical documents with growing amazement. The humans hadn't just surpassed the Empire's technology. They had taken paths that Imperial science had declared impossible millennia ago. While the Zargax had built their civilization on rigid adherence to known principles, humanity had dared to question everything. Operation Thunderstrike had achieved its goal. The balance of power hadn't just shifted, it had been fundamentally redefined. And as the Imperial Senate convened an emergency session to discuss the ramifications, one thing became clear: the galaxy would never be the same again. The Imperial Senate chamber on Zargax Prime had never seen such chaos. Representatives from 1,000 worlds shouted over each other as reports of humanity's technological revolution spread throughout the galaxy. The demonstrations of power had been precise, overwhelming, and worst of all for the Empire, merciful. "They could have destroyed us," a senator from the Outer Rim bellowed, his crystalline form pulsing with agitation. "Instead, they showed us the future we've been too afraid to imagine." The Empire's rigid hierarchy was crumbling faster than anyone had predicted. Species that had been subjugated for millennia were now openly questioning Imperial authority. The humans hadn't just defeated the Empire's fleet, they had shattered its aura of invincibility. In a secure quantum conference room on Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen and Admiral James Chen watched the political chaos unfold through their newly established galaxy-wide quantum network. The feed was crystal clear, another technology the Empire had deemed impossible. "They're reaching the breaking point faster than we anticipated," Sarah observed, studying the real-time data streams. Their entire social structure was built on technological superiority. "Now that that's gone, now they have to face the truth," James finished. Their empire wasn't built on superior technology. It was built on the suppression of innovation. Across the galaxy, the impact of humanity's emergence was causing a cascade of changes. The Relaxians, a species known for their biological engineering prowess, publicly announced they had been hiding their own advances for centuries. The quantum collective of the Carina Arm revealed technological breakthroughs that paralleled human innovations. The Empire's greatest fear was becoming reality. Their subjects weren't just rebelling, they were evolving. On a dozen worlds, ancient research projects emerged from hiding. Scientists who had been forced to suppress their discoveries found their voice. The humans hadn't just demonstrated new technology. They had shown that the impossible was only impossible if you believed the Empire's limitations. Supreme Commander Vexthor, once the epitome of imperial authority, now found himself facing a military in revolt. His own officers were openly studying the human technical documents, amazed by the possibilities they had never considered. "Sir," his young tactical officer approached him, scales shifting through shades of intellectual excitement. "The human's quantum phase technology. It doesn't violate the laws of physics as we thought. We were the ones who didn't understand the laws properly." In the Imperial Palace, the Emperor himself faced an unprecedented situation. The Empire's authority had always rested on its role as the guardian of galactic civilization, protecting lesser species from their own dangerous innovations. Now that narrative was unraveling at faster than light speeds. Dr. Marcus Rivera, leading a delegation of Earth scientists to the Imperial capital, addressed a gathering of the Empire's top researchers. "The universe doesn't care about authority," he explained, demonstrating principles that shattered millennia of imperial doctrine. "It rewards curiosity, creativity, and courage. The same courage many of you showed by hiding your own discoveries." The revelation hit the imperial scientific community like a cascade. For generations, they had dismissed unusual phenomena as errors, ignored promising research paths because they conflicted with imperial doctrine, and suppressed their own insights to maintain the established order. On the colony world of New Helix, a group of young Zargak scientists publicly activated a prototype faster-than-light drive they had developed in secret. It wasn't as advanced as the Chen drive, but it proved something more important. The Empire's species were capable of the same innovative leaps as humanity. "We've been lying to ourselves," a senior Imperial researcher declared in a viral quantum broadcast. "We claimed we were protecting the galaxy from dangerous innovations, but we were really protecting our own power. The humans didn't just show us new technology. They showed us our own potential." Sarah Chen's quantum inbox was flooded with messages from scientists across the galaxy, sharing discoveries they had hidden for years. The breaking point wasn't just political or military, it was psychological. The Empire's carefully maintained illusion of superiority had shattered, revealing a galaxy full of suppressed innovation. In orbit around Earth, a remarkable scene unfolded. Ships from dozens of species, many revealing advanced technologies they had hidden for generations, gathered for what was being called the First Galactic Scientific Congress. The Empire's attempt to isolate humanity had instead created a focal point for a revolution in thought. Admiral Chen, watching the gathering from the Prometheus, received an urgent message from the Imperial Palace. The Emperor himself was requesting a private audience, not to negotiate terms of surrender, but to discuss the future. "The Empire as we knew it is finished," James told his sister as they prepared for the meeting. "But that's not our victory. The real victory is what's happening out there." He gestured to the screens showing gatherings on countless worlds, as species after species revealed the innovations they had hidden away. The breaking point had come, but it wasn't leading to chaos as the Empire had always warned. Instead, it was leading to something unprecedented in galactic history, a renaissance of unfettered innovation and cooperation. Sarah smiled as she watched another group of alien scientists arrive for the Congress. "They thought isolation would weaken us," she mused. Instead, it showed the galaxy that isolation itself was the greatest weakness of all. The Imperial Palace on Zargex Prime had stood for 10,000 years as a symbol of unchanging power. Now, its grand conference chamber hosted something unprecedented. Representatives from every known species gathered not in submission to imperial authority, but in celebration of a new beginning. Emperor Ixilven, the last of a dynasty that had ruled for millennia, stood before the assembled delegates. His scales shifted through complex patterns that reflected both uncertainty and hope. emotions no emperor had publicly displayed before. For too long, he addressed the gathering, we claimed to protect the galaxy by controlling its development. We were wrong. The humans showed us not just new technologies, but a new way of thinking. And in doing so, they revealed truths about ourselves we had long forgotten. Dr. Sarah Chen and Admiral James Chen sat in the front row, representing Earth not as conquerors but as catalysts. Around them, scientists from 100 worlds shared discoveries that had been hidden for generations. The quantum network hummed with unprecedented exchanges of knowledge. The Galactic Scientific Congress will replace the Imperial Senate, the Emperor continued. No longer will we suppress innovation in the name of stability. Instead, we will face the future together, guided by curiosity rather than fear. Marcus Rivera, working with a team of multi-species researchers, was already demonstrating how human quantum phase technology could be combined with Relaxian bioengineering and Centanian energy manipulation. The results defied what any single species had thought possible. This is what we dreamed of, Sarah whispered to her brother. Not victory through force, but progress through cooperation. The changes sweeping the galaxy were profound. The rigid hierarchies of the Empire were dissolving, replaced by collaborative networks that crossed species boundaries. The quantum entanglement network, once seen as impossible, now connected minds and ideas across vast distances. Supreme Commander Vexthor, who had once dismissed humanity as primitive, now served as a bridge between the old order and the new. His military experience was being repurposed to coordinate scientific expeditions into unknown regions of space. We thought we were an empire of law and order, he admitted to Admiral Chen during a private moment. But we were really an empire of limitations. You humans taught us that true strength comes from embracing the unknown. The First Galactic Scientific Congress wasn't just sharing existing knowledge, it was creating new possibilities. When the Relaxians' biological insights were combined with human quantum mechanics and Zargak's energy manipulation, entire new fields of science emerged. Species that had been rivals for millennia now worked together, each bringing their unique perspectives and hidden innovations to light. The Empire's fall hadn't led to chaos as many had feared. Instead, it had unleashed a wave of creativity and cooperation that transformed the galaxy. On Earth, humanity continued to push boundaries, but now they did so as part of a larger community. The Chen Drive had been just the beginning. With input from dozens of species, it evolved into something even its creators hadn't imagined possible. We never wanted to rule, Sarah explained to a gathering of young scientists from across the galaxy. We wanted to explore, to discover, to understand. And now we can do that together. The quantum network buzzed with constant breakthroughs. The Zentarians revealed meditation techniques that enhanced quantum computing. The Relaxians developed biological interfaces that made faster-than-light travel more intuitive. Each discovery built upon the others in an accelerating spiral of innovation. In orbit around Zargex Prime, a new structure took shape, the Galactic Institute of Scientific Advancement. Unlike the old Imperial Palace, it was designed to be constantly growing, changing, evolving, just like the civilization it represented. The humans didn't defeat us, Emperor Ixilven remarked during the Institute's inauguration. They freed us. They showed us that the universe is not a thing to be controlled, but a mystery to be explored. Admiral Chen, watching ships from hundreds of worlds moving freely through space, remembered the isolation Earth had faced just months before. We turned their attempt to contain us into an opportunity to connect everyone, he said. That's the real human superpower, turning obstacles into opportunities. The dawn of the new era brought challenges, of course. Change never comes easily, especially to societies built on stability. But the spirit of innovation that humanity had awakened could not be contained. Each problem became an opportunity for species to work together, combining their unique perspectives to find solutions no one could have discovered alone. As Sarah Chen prepared to lead the first multi-species expedition beyond the galaxy's edge, she reflected on how far they had come. The Empire had tried to force humanity to accept limitations. Instead, humanity had shown the galaxy how to break free of them. "We're not the galaxy's deadliest species," she told her diverse crew as they prepared to depart. "We're its most hopeful." And that hope has turned out to be more powerful than any weapon or empire. The stars beckoned, not as territory to be conquered, but as mysteries to be explored. And for the first time in galactic history, all species faced those mysteries together, united not by force or fear, but by an insatiable curiosity about what might be possible. The Empire was gone, but something far greater had taken its place. A civilization that celebrated questions instead of certainties, possibilities instead of limitations, and cooperation instead of control. The galaxy's deadliest species had indeed changed everything, not through destruction, but through inspiration.